can make shapes. It's all good. Versus his opponent, Liquid TLO. He is in the red trunks, and he is playing Zerg to the east.
And in the early stages of this map, if Terran decides to play a little bit more aggressive, there are a lot of run-bys available to begin with, and TLO can really use Lings well here if that's the style he needs to go for. And if he wants to play that style, he has to rush to Infestors faster than that. He cannot stay on pure Ling that long. But the problem is, after the first engagement, when he lost against Hellions in the back or the front as well that weren't targeted down well, is that he was always on the back foot. There was never a chance that he could go to Infestors because he always had to be building Lings to push back the next wave. And Polt took the game from there, basically, and never let TLO more than 30 seconds breathing room.
Yeah, and you can't inefficiently trade that much. I mean, it's something to say that Lings are inefficient, which they can be. They very much can be in a lot of different situations. But if your economy's okay, it doesn't really matter. Efficiency isn't what is important there. What's important is the ability to gain map control, the ability to then start harassing your opponent and crush his army. Unfortunately, right there, it wasn't just trading inefficiently. I mean, at one point, it was 10-to-1 kill ratio. And his opponent did have that third base, and that fourth really didn't matter because TLO lost his third so quickly and so frequently. So it's sad really to watch it. Unfortunately, that's just the way that it went, and I have to wonder what TLO will pull out of his bag this time in order to deal with that.
And because of the lack of needed tanks in that game, it probably never went over like 3 or 4.
No.
And a lot of the times you do see team players using them more in 4 per push. And there was a lot of pushes in that game. So you think about all the gas that was available for Polt, which he just spent in medivacs. And there were so many medivacs that made the Marines even stronger because they just weren't dying. The Lings were doing their damage, but at the same time were getting instantly repaired by all those medivacs.
That's very true, and unfortunately that Overlord is drifting in the wrong place. I think it's going to get away with it. As far as I can tell, that bit is out of position, so you won't be able to bring that Overlord down. Hopefully. That would be the second Marine on the way. It would be a bit of a disaster if Overlord went down initially. It's getting very, very low, in fact. Oh, so fortunate.
3 HP. And do you know what? I would not be surprised if TLO was like, what do you want about it? I was going to save it anyway, because he's down to that very precise numbers, and he would be like, no, I've tested that fine. No, it always goes to 3 HP. Don't worry about it.
Definitely a possibility, but that said, I mean, if that Marine had just been a few steps forward and got one more shot, then it wouldn't have worked out that way. So, no, I think a little bit of fortune there, but obviously quite a lot of skill as well from TLO. There's the factory, and it's going to be Reactor Hellion once again. Now, that is the one thing that he did shut down very, very well. The style that he uses with heavy queens, lots of creep spread, and Ling is brilliant against Reactor Hellion. It's fantastic. Reactor Hellion basically does nothing. Unfortunately, it's the transition out of that that's awkward.
Yeah, and you know, Polt didn't invest that much into it,
No,
but
he
he did slow down TLO in terms of his creep spread, which TLO is very good at doing, and he concentrates a lot of his practice in doing so. And there is the 3rd and 4th Queen now in production. Double gases put down actually pretty early. They're not, it's not, usually the timing would be around 5:46 minutes, but he throws them down a little bit early here, knowing that he needs speed. He actually needs it incredibly early to deal with any form of pressure that can come, to deal with Hellions, to maybe catch them off guard, and so on.
Yeah, that's very true. It's pretty much vital for it. This is it's not the most awkward map, honestly, but this is kind of semi-narrow passage here that goes to the natural that could be a little bit awkward, potentially. Surrounds could happen. A lot of damage has already been done to these Hellions by these Queens. They've done a good job of throwing them back already. I have to wonder if Polt goes with the 6 Hellions again, or if he decides just to cut it off, but no, he is going to go for the full 6. TLO just taking a little bit of damage here and there. Doesn't want to lose a queen from this. And Polt, I mean, killing one queen would be great for Polt. And actually, he can probably do it. And he pulls it off as well without losing those Hellions. So that's a nice early start for him. And
very smartly, as the 2 creep tumors were going into the ground as well, he identified where they were and memorized it and was able to pick one of them off. Couldn't quite get the second, but small things like that make a champion within Polt. And he's definitely a contester for the entire of the tournament for sure. And he's gone into his regular play once again, the double barracks following this up. And he's going to pressure TLO a little bit more, though. TLO has walled in, or started to wall in and narrow that choke point down with the addition of that extra hatchery. But TLO currently only at 39 drones, and he's building a lot of Lings here because he knows that there's a good amount of Hellions.
Yeah, he managed to block that off very nicely. He takes out 2 Hellions, and just a few more for Polt this time around, because he thinks, well, you know what, this has worked out a little bit better this time. What if I maybe throw a couple more in there? And TLO is actually going to go for the Baneling Nest, which I definitely like.
And TLO, knowing that his creep spread is further than it was in the previous game, as soon as Polt moves up to poke again, bam, surround. That's exactly what TLO is going to be looking for, especially as speed finishes in just 10 seconds time now. TLO, I can see him clicking on his lings. He knows that speed is about to finish. He's going to jump on them any second now. Speed is about to finish, and TLO is going to go for it.
Yeah, the question is, will he be able to get it? Oh, he gets one, and he surrounds the second one as well. So nicely done there. He takes the third, and bare minimum losses right here from TLO. Nicely engaged there.
And he's still building nothing but lings. TLO's at 46 right now. We could see a bit of a bust here as the Baneling Nest finishes from TLO. He surges towards the natural, and these Marines get instantly surrounded.
Nicely surrounded there by TLO. And I love the fact that he now has at least the option to go Baneling. He doesn't have to do it. If he wants to pour Ling on, which actually will work here, then he can go for it with the Hellions crushed.
Oh, he's waltzing just in time. But Banelings can still morph. And this aggression is coming from TLO.
Oh, look how well hidden they are. You couldn't even see them if you were looking at them.
And he's going to try and bust down. And Polt now going for his usual build. And TLO has spotted a weakness in here. The Hellions are going to go down on the left. But look how many Lings TLO has. And he's already revealed the Banelings. And 2 Medivacs are about to come out. But supply depots will go down very shortly here. But how many Marines does he have? He doesn't even have combat shields. He does have stim, but... Oh, TLO is going to try and end the game.
Look at that number. That's not a Baneling bust. That's a Baneling Holocaust coming right down on top of TSL Polt. And this is going to get messy. You know what's bad against Baneling supply depots? And here he goes. Baneling's all over the natural expansion of Polt. And he tries to split up immediately. Detonations popping all over the place. Ling surround coming on right there. The single remaining Marine stands tall. Single Baneling now moving in. Lots of economic damage done up to this point. Good detonation once again. There's Lings in the main mineral line, and just all that TLO needs to do right now is just pour the pressure on.
Indeed, and it's still coming. 28 more Lings are coming down here for TLO, killing all the SCVs, and the GSL Super Tournament winner is on his back foot right now. Does have 4 Medivacs out, which will help a lot, but when Banelings come, he's going to have to split individually. Yeah, exactly. That is almost impossible.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And those, more important thing, those Medivacs really low on energy, so that's not going to make too much of a difference at all. Yet more economic damage being inflicted. A Marauder, the perfect counter to Lings.
Indeed. And he's trying to just snipe Banelings with them, but look at that. Way too many Lings
here. Oh, I think not, says TLO. He's going for it right now. 54 Lings. Polt in the most defensive position he can be, but the Lings are ripping through. SCV after SCV, Marine after Marine. And he just keeps going. I mean, what do you do in this situation? Polt's getting beaten into the ground.
He is indeed, and more units are coming now, and Polt still manages to survive with 18 SCVs. He has 4 Medivacs, a decent ground army now. And I say decent, I mean... No, it's not really this. It's kind of small, but Banelings now are being morphed by TLO, and more units are coming. Drones in the background as well, and upgrades. One good surround here, and Polt is in so much trouble.
Polt just had a wander past his doom, which is coming right there. Either that, we're just going to stim back and try and catch them, and the Lings need to get in, intercept them. Good target fire there by Polt. Gets most of the Banelings. He's going to be able to get the split, and that was actually really nicely done, I've got to say, but there are still 4 more Banelings coming in, and Polt's just really bleeding hard. More damage being done to the structures at the front. Polt surrounded again. More Lings just being poured on. Upgrades about to kick in as well, just to make matters even worse. He survives way better than other players could have there with an excellent little flank and target fire, but more Banelings will be on the way. 9 more being morphed in. Polt desperately trying to cling on to this game.
Yeah, and it's not going to be able to. I mean, with 1-1 about to finish and another bust coming into the natural, 1-1 will seal the deal here for TLO, I'm sure of it.
Yeah, I'm almost certain. I don't think he's going to be able to do anything special against that. Here come the Banelings. The target fire is still good, admittedly. Every single one killed with a trade for only 1 Marine. Polt is incredibly good, but he's only got 8 SCVs. It doesn't really matter how good you are against that. 1-1 kicks in, and suddenly things get a hell of a lot harder for the GSL Super Cup champion. And oh god, there go the rest of the SCVs getting absolutely gutted. Hold command used. Polt is supply blocked, and all TLO needs to do is rally into the main at this point.
Yeah, just build an army, TLO. Sit there, build about 50 Banelings, 50 Lings, and then go. And it looks like the 20-year-old Santa Claus is going to win this game here.
Finesse is not really required, honestly, at this point. It really isn't. Just attack him, do as much damage as he can. More Banelings coming in. Polt's got some just incredible target fire micro. I mean, look at that. The Banelings don't even touch him. It's awesome to watch, but you've still only got 4 SCVs at the end of the day, and that does make things a bit difficult.
Oh, +1
he gets the +1.
just in time.
Very, very nice. Polt is still alive, if you can believe that. 6 SCVs versus 55. TLO can't quite kill him, and Polt putting up a great show of resilience.
It's because Polt isn't losing units. He's losing SCVs over and over, but mules are allowing him to rebuild those SCVs eventually. And TLO's like, God damn it. All right, let's go back and build a third base. It's going to take a bit of a different angle, but Polt just surviving. All these Marines have like 15 kills each.
Yeah, they do. They are veterans of this campaign. That was a sergeant. This squad actually has like 5 sergeants that not following the chain of command at all. It's a completely joke military operation. But we've also got baneling speed coming in, and that is really going to change things around just a little bit, as well as +2, because hey, why not? TLO rips through that mineral line once again. Yeah, it's just 7 SCVs versus 55 drones.
52 SCVs have been killed by TLO in this game, and it doesn't really matter about the SCVs killed. It's this army now that Polt's going to be pushing across with, and it doesn't matter because even if Polt goes for an attack here with baneling speed about to finish and the additional Lings being morphed in now, 50 Lings currently, I don't really see Polt doing this. He does have energy now banking up on the Medivacs, but with baneling speed only 30 seconds away.
It does make things very difficult, doesn't it?
He can still pick up everything, but then has to take a fight in somewhere else and can't really slow down TLO's economy.
It's very true. I think, honestly, what Polt's doing is trying to wear TLO out at this point. He knows he's lost. He's dragging this out for as long as possible to try and tire out his opponent so that he's got a better chance at the next game. TLO losing yet another Overlord, but here it is. The Banelings do not get targeted this time. You ain't escaping that, son. Here it comes. Down it goes. That's the remainder of his army. Polt still refusing to give up, and a nice little drop right there to target fire yet more Banelings. Unfortunately, what is left to defend, not a huge amount.
And this would be the first map Polt will drop in the entire series, entire tournament, sorry, so he doesn't want to really drop that, but more reinforcements do come down, but as the Banelings get morphed and more coming in, this does get aggressively harder.
Amazing split right there by Polt, absolutely fantastic, but that's it, GG.